Yo, what's up, everyone? How we doing? Welcome to At the Close. I'm Spencer. Joel is here. You're here. Jerome Powell was not here. Unfortunately, I tried to get him on the show today. He was busy, is what I was told. But if we had him on the show today, I don't know if it would have done much because he's gone from pumping Powell to dumping Powell. You can put that one in the book. I'm going to trademark that. I'm so darn clever. All right, we got At the Close. We got 29 minutes to digest what the heck just happened. Joel's here with his charts. Let's go. Hit that like button, everyone. All right, it is time for PreMarket Prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, Joel, make sense of this one for us.
Yeah, okay. Basically, not much has happened today. We closed yesterday at 43.49, and we're down 9 handles, right? Or 8 handles as we speak at 43.40, 41. Pre-market high that was obliterated and then some. Went from down 40 on the open last night to up over 100, and then we went down 60, and now we're just trying to float back into the close. Initial reaction obviously was good. They didn't like what he said during the Q&A, and this is the result that you have. It'd be really something if we ended up unchanged on the day. Crude makes a new high for the move, almost reaches $88, pulling back down some with the market, up a buck 13, 86.74. Gold runs into resistance, now heading back towards on that $1,800 level, down 33.10 at 18.19. Silver going the same way, down 27 cents at 23.62. Bitcoin is giving back its gains. It's only up $145 at 37,000, right on the nose. And Ethereum futures, they're in the green by $72 at 25.0750.
Yeah. All that being said, Joel, I think your first point is the one that matters, which is all things being equal. Not much has happened today. We're basically back to where we started.
I mean, you could say Microsoft, say I didn't like that talk this morning. Who was it? Who was it that? Oh, you read that statement from someone about,
Oh,
you know,
Wedbush.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Microsoft was a transformative moment we're all going to remember. The Microsoft earnings call
Yeah,
last
we're
week.
gonna remember this. Just as far as Mr. Softy goes, just
Yeah,
to emphasize the importance of your pre-market highs and lows, things that we trying to emphasize on the show. I mean, they were pumping this thing. They were thinking, everyone's thinking this thing is back. It's going all the way back to new all-time highs today. Nah, I'm being a little facetious there. But I just want to point out here the 24-hour session for this, the upper left chart. Look how sneaky this was. Right up there, the pre-market high comes in at 0875, and you opened up right into that area, only went 0850, and then, tested 300, and then with the market caving in, it's caving in too. So it not a
yeah.
good day. A lot of people getting their money back, but once again, trying to use those pre-market highs and lows could have perhaps saved you a little trouble there if you were on the Microsoft or was attempting to short it.
Okay, so what did Jerome Powell actually say? Well, he said a lot of things that frankly we thought he would say, right? He said that inflation is high, which we know. He said the labor market has improved a little bit, I think, but there's still more to go. He said, they are. He basically said we're going to raise rates next time around in March. So that was pretty clear. Remember, we haven't had a rate hike now in a little over 3 years, December 2018. Um, Mitch was making a good point before because he was watching the market much closer than I was during the Q&A, and he noted that as soon as someone asked a question about the balance sheet runoff, that the market actually started dipping on that. So, that was the same thing that caused the market to dip when the minutes came out a few weeks ago from the December meeting. Um, whoever just in the chat said that he sounded confused. I think he just sounded like contradictory. It's there's a lot of things are just not making a whole lot of sense. Again, I'm by no means a Fed a Fed a Fed truther or a Fed whisperer or a macroeconomist. I'm none of those things, but it just seemed like they're just trying to walk this line. It's very difficult because on the one hand they can't really say that the economy has gotten too good because then why would they raise rates? But then they also can't say it's so bad because then they have to sort of stay in the middle there. So anyway, it is notable that as soon as he stopped talking, we started bouncing. So Joel, I did say hold the phone about 10 minutes ago because the dip is being bought to some extent here. I think the low of the day, I think that happened right when he
Right.
stopped talking. Because he stopped talking like 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago now. So yeah, I don't actually know what he said that was so different. I was also not paying super close attention to the Q&A. I'll be honest with you. I was doing other things. But I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't really know here. It just seems like more the same. Uh, if the chances of a rate hike, are not 98% by now in March, then they should be. But that's where we're gonna be. I don't know if he telegraphed how many. I don't know what the dot plot said. I don't know if we're talking about 2 or 3 or 4. But let's forget all that. Let's get to 1. Let's get to 1 first, and then we can talk about 2 or 3 or 4 this year. Um, I don't know. They've got a large balance sheet. They're going to unwind that, and let's.
They
Yeah,
were in the. I mean, I thought that was the step that was supposed to be done by March, right? And then the raise in
no, the
March.
taper was done is going to be done by March, right? They said they're not going to raise rates until they stop buying bonds. They have to stop buying bonds first. The stopping of the bond buying is going to be happening. That's going to happen by March, at which point they will raise rates. That's what they've said for a while now. So all things being equal, I mean, kind of a round tripper of a day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the big over. I just think the market just got a little bit ahead of itself with that rally today, and then with the price action. So what I'm hoping for is just for things to calm down a little bit. I mean, there's no way that we can have a sustained rally until when we're having these kind of ranges. I don't. But I mean, if you count up, and I think Spinner made a point, that just the way the market's moving, got to get it to calm. First, we got to get it to calm down and stabilize. Then I feel a little bit more comfortable. When you have these kind of fluctuations, it creates pockets in the market. I mean, at one point, what the low on Monday, what was 42? I even put it on my sheet because I didn't even think we'd get anywhere near it. I believe it was 42.1275. So at 44.46, a 230 point rally. I mean, what on a 230 divided by, let's just call it 4,300. 5%. That's a good year sometimes in the market. The 5% on that, but
Yeah,
what's
I
important though
yeah.
is that when things get like this, intraday trading, I mean, is extremely difficult, right? Because
Mhm.
of the volatility. But just try and stick to your guns and stick to your rules as best you can.
Yeah, I think what Dion said is not super off base, which is basically if today's any indication, if the minutes release is any indication, uh, then expect more of this. When is the March meeting? Is it the middle of the month? Let's go look right now. Expect more of this next go around March 15th and 16th, the Ides of March. Beware of that. Expect more of that. Expect more of what we just got in about 2 months. I think that's the biggest takeaway here is if the last two Fed events are any indication, there's no reason we shouldn't fall another 1 to 2% when we actually get a rate hike, which is probably going to happen next time. Is based on what he just said. So I don't know. Again, this whole thing is it's like it's reading tea leaves, trying to interpret every word that they say. People are into comparing one statement to the prior statement. I'm not about that life. Let's just go to the stocks here. We talked.
Yeah. I just like, Toronto Dave, says straight up, this is the worst week for me. Just couldn't make a right decision this past week. You know what? Sometimes, Toronto Dave, when with this kind of volatility, you could have like the best setups and the best kind of scenarios, and just because of the volatility, they don't work out for
Yeah,
you. But
yeah.
let's find out what the people wanna
Yeah, if you
cover
have a
here.
question for us about a stock, put the ticker in the chat. We will try to cover as many of those as we can, because that's what we do here. We try not to get all bogged down in Fed speak, frankly, because
Yeah.
it's boring. That's also why I don't like it. Boring.
um,
Adolf.
and just poor AT&T. Did you see this? And yeah,
It was
I'm a.
it was not just them, Joel. It was AT&T and Verizon. Did you see Verizon today?
It was. I just want to know why they didn't care about that. They did not care about the guidance at all in the pre-market when
Don't,
this thing was trading at $27, right?
don't ask me. I
Look at that. And then boom, all of a sudden guidance matters. This is probably one of the worst days for AT&T. Huh, I don't know. Ever. I mean, look at this, down 8.5%.
8%. Oh boy.
Mm,
There goes a month of gains.
more than that. More than that. But anyways, what else?
All
What
right,
else?
all right, all
Give
right.
me give me some stocks. Give me
Give
stocks.
you some stocks. Give you some stocks. So let's look at. Okay, we can do Tesla. I know Joel hates doing this, but we will look at Tesla because
Before earnings.
before earnings, here's the calendar. They're after the close tonight. Look at this column right here. That's where my head is at. Tesla, Intel, Whirlpool, ServiceNow, Las Vegas Sands lead the way tonight. We're going to stream the conference call on our channel. Don't forget that. I think it's set for 5:30 p.m. Eastern, but I'll confirm that. Anyway, what does the chart do? What does the chart tell you, Joel?
Chart tells me that if you want to go, I'm going to go wide on this, and you're trading at 935, right? I'd say if you get a pop up to the $1,000 area, your 4-day high is 1,004.55. So I would look at that. That would be a 60-point pop. And then on the downside, if they decide that they don't like this one, I'd really have to keep it. Let's just call it 905. The lowest in the last two sessions is 903.21 and 906. Then that opens up to Monday's low at 851.47. But I mean, if you're going with basing anything off the price action from Microsoft, anything can and will happen in this one. But there's just the fact that there's two lows at the 905 area makes it probably the best level I can see as far as support and resistance.
Just going off the historical patterns here. Tesla, is very mixed after its report. Actually, it trades lower more often than it trades higher if you go back the last 3 years. But very mixed. I'm not quite sure what the expected move is. Let's look at the expected move real fast in Tesla. I'm sure it's probably like what? It's like $50. I'm just taking a wild guess here. I
Probably
don't
more than that, huh?
at shoot, 10. Okay, yeah. The expected move on Tesla is not about $93, right? So in either direction. So there we go. Tesla's an interesting one though because again we already have the key piece of information, which is their deliveries, because they publish that or they release that at the start of every month, right? Because they do it for the month, they do it for the quarter, and in January they do it for the year, obviously for the whole prior year. So we already have their delivery numbers. So they're going to say it again, but that's not new information. But that is also what the market cares about most. So I don't really know how to interpret Tesla's earnings report, but like I said, based on the last 3 years, it does trade down more often than it trades higher after its report. Let's move on to a different stock here, and let's look at. Oh, we looked at Shopify this morning or yesterday. I don't remember which day. Let's look at. Let's find one that looks a little bit different. That Upstart. We can look at Upstart, I guess, because
Oh,
it's bounced. I mean, everything bounced a couple of days ago, so it's not saying a whole lot. But it did.
not much though.
Oh,
Wow.
actually, though, but wait, but look at this is interesting. Look at the level where it bounced at. You actually were at some pretty critical support going back. What is that? A year and a half. Um,
When was that?
that's interesting.
80, 85. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
80, 85 was the low back in May. Um, got to 75.15. I'll make as we come back unchanged here. How that would be incredible just to settle just flat on the session. But what I think is critical here, you think you found a bottom and upstart here, and you bet, wow, 30-point rally, right? In 2 days, right? From that
Nice.
75.15 low, right? 85.95. 105 30-point rally. I'm looking at this $90 area. So if this is the low, like if this is going to be a long-term low here, then I don't expect this to come back down and breach 90. We come down and be I know it's a little ways away, but that's just, a little bit of a retest. Of this rally, a 30-point rally in 2 days is definitely nothing to sneeze at. But wow, this thing hit $400. And what month was this? That was in October. This hit 401.40, 401.49.
I know. I know.
Four
I know.
for one stock split,
I
man.
know.
Got
Wait,
a
hey,
lot of overhead supply.
what about Dutch Brothers here? BROS. This chart looks interesting to me because it it's not going straight down. That's why it looks interesting, basically.
Uh, yeah, that got overdone at 80, 2 for 1, stock split, supported 40. Um, how high did we get today? Today we got a bit over 50 to 52. Um, Boy, and now you're down at 48.80. I'll go the same thing on this one. What, you hit 38 a couple days ago? I keep an eye on 45. If there was a big move, it's digesting this move, it comes back, takes back half of the move. I see a 43.56 low, a 2-day low. So if this was the low of lows, then it shouldn't come back down and breach this 45, hang out a couple days and turn out. But how's Starbucks doing?
Not
Yeah,
great.
not
Not
great.
great.
I mean, that had a big string of down. Ooh, look at this. What
Down.
a tasty formation here on a latte here. Look at this. Look at all these consecutive highs between you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive highs within about a buck and a half range. Wow. Absolutely no upside until you get to there. That is some major resistance, and sure looks like you're going to breach the low of the move. Horrible relative performance. This is almost back in Monday's low. Not like in this chart at all.
Several people asking about DraftKings. Jesse Kaler on Benzinga Live today said he has taken a semi long term shot in DraftKings down. He said he's been averaging down, so more power to him. But wow, that's quite a reversal. I'm not quite sure. Do we know? Oh, they got an upgrade this
Oh, they got an upgrade
morning.
today.
Morgan
Yep.
Stanley, $31. That price target, by the way, if you
Is
don't
that
know,
crazy? That's their price target? They upgraded it?
price
That's
tar-
a
price targets are typically 12-month price estimates. So when Morgan says DraftKings is worth $31, they're saying they think in a year it'll be worth $31. That's what they're saying. Anyway, we're at
wow.
20.
You ever thought you'd have a price target that low on this stock?
I mean,
But once again, you got a nice bounce off that 1741 low. What was that? 5.2 and a half, 20. This thing's got to hold $20. Today's low 2017. $20 is just around halfway back. It was also nice gap fill in this one too. After going all the way to 22.82, comes back down and just sneaks in the top of yesterday's range, but really not bouncing out of here. So it's going to need another upgrade here to get away from this level. But 20 critical support 2017 is the current low today.
A couple people mentioning Hood. Robinhood had a bullish headline today. I don't know if you caught that one, Joel. It wasn't related to Robinhood per se, but remember Wealthfront, the big robo advisor?
Yeah.
Yeah, UBS is buying them.
Oh, really?
UBS is buying Wealthfront for $1.4 billion. Wealthfront is, a little bit of a different business than Robinhood. It's more of it is a robo advisor, so it's more like buying and hold type stuff. It's less trading, but the point still stands that these companies, these big banks, these big brokerages, they need to grow, and for a lot of them, the fastest way is to just buy it, buy the growth, buy the new accounts, buy the new assets under management. So that's why UBS bought Wealthfront, and that's why I suspect that someday, I don't know when. This is not a very hot take here, but let's just call it in the next couple of years, someone's buying Robinhood. I don't know who, but someone's buying this company.
Okay. Well, they can get it for a bargain now. Whatever the good news, I just, what can you say about this stock? I mean, it hit 11.15, and and it's pulling back. I mean, if you're taking a shot here, you can risk down to the low of the move, 11.15, buying a stock on the premise that maybe it's going to get taken over. Not really, probably, the best advice on this one. I think there's a lot of smaller accounts. I'm not sure people would want to deal with that on their system. But man, if this is just not a flagship for the market and the price action,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, it really is a chart that indicate that in a lot of ways indicates like retail enthusiasm, right? So yeah, it doesn't bode well. Again, their earnings report is what, tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. I think it is. It's tomorrow, Thursday.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep an eye on 1350. If you're trading this and if you want to buy it on strength or you're just looking for an uncle point. The reason I say that is you got three highs in that area. Going back, three of the last four highs are right at that 1350 area. You backed off that. You're 70 cents away. So I think even sellers are going to come down on that. But put a little alert if and when this catches, can hold 1350, then I'd look for some upside in it. But as of
Yeah.
right now, 1115 is low of the move. And then what's the old time? Old time, this is another thing that's bad. This is an all time closing low. At this point, it would be by almost 60 cents. So it did make a new all-time low today, right? That's the good news. The bad news is the mark, and you're a nickel off. This could be a new all-time low could be by 60 cents. We'll see what happens into the
All right.
close.
Someone asked us about our opinions on GameStop and AMC. I'll just summarize it. Our opinions are not high of GameStop and AMC. Here's a new ticker. I love new tickers.
Okay.
Meg Chow asked us about AOSL, Alpha and Omega Semiconductor, a $1 billion company. Doesn't trade like super active, but it trades, hundreds of thousands of shares a day, which ain't nothing. So AOSL, I have never seen this one before or heard of it.
Yeah. What's the PE on it? Do you know?
The forward PE is just under 10.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. Um, just went green here on the session for just a nanosecond. Uh, Extended sell-off, right? And once again, I mean, these a lot of these charts look the same. You got about what let's see, 7.5 point bounce, right? So that's 375 right here, 42 and a half, 42.75, giving it back. You're leaning on this area, banking that it doesn't take out that 39.08. And also for a little bit longer term looking at, well, not longer term, last 3 days. You got to close at 43.35, and looks like you're going to close in that area today. So at least you got a bounce. You're getting a double close in the same area. So that will be important tomorrow. Holding that closing price and then working its way. I don't know why this got to 46.47 today. But you don't like a stock finishing $3 off the high, but also what happens to your market.
All right, we have not looked at Lumentum for a hot second here, and someone in the chat. Let me make sure I get who it was. It was it was Ronan. Light is on the precipice of a breakout on the upside, says Ronan. Light,
Ronan,
uh,
I know what he's talking about here.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's talking about $100. And it's critical. You got to get to 100, and you got to get to 100 soon. Your high 99.92 on the 21st, 99.87 today. Not good that you're $3 off that, Roman. So you're gonna need. I don't know if it has earnings or something coming up, but I'd say path of least. I have to go on the other side of with on this one. Path of resistance is lower until it proves it can take out and hold $100.
We got 2.5 minutes until the close. And as it stands right now, the scoreboard is as such: more red than green on the screen. Only two sectors up for the day: technology and financials. Though financials are hanging out by chinny chin chin right now. Everything else is red. That's where we stand with 2 minutes to go in this session. And I did see a slight sell imbalance, 1.1 billion. That flipped. It was a buy balance before that. So okay, what do we got here? Let's look at. Oh, did we not do Intel? They report tonight as well. So let's just give. I haven't looked at the Intel chart probably since in a week or so. So couldn't tell you what it's done the last few days.
Wow,
Well,
man, 56 to 50 and whoo, in a heartbeat, moving with the market. Would you say earnings are tonight?
yes, sir. It's what it said.
Hmm. 53 and 54. Those are where your daily highs are if you get a pop. Um, two higher lows, so that's good. But once again, it's like you're so far off that high of the day. What did you have? You had this call like that was about a 3 point move, right? A buck and a half, 50-50. That splits the lows of the last two sessions. So 50-50 must hold on the downside, and then the upside, at 52.72, that was a high. The other high at 53.13. So I call 53 decent resistance. We'll see what happens with the earnings.
We got time for one more. All right, we can look at Baba. We can look at Baba. It has not. Oh, it's actually having a pretty tough day there. I was gonna say that it hasn't been. It looked like it had bottom there for a minute because it had stopped going down.
Mm,
Though today is down almost 5%. So not. Yeah. Yeah.
not
Oh
good.
man,
Well,
I'm glad I
yeah.
didn't chase that.
I
So,
just this needs to take since you had the two lows at 115 and a half. That's old support. That's gonna be new resistance now. Giving back more than half of the 110 low. So you don't have much to lean on here for daily lows, right? 112.30 and then 110.38. And here's
hey.
another thing too. Here's another thing. I mean, I know it's um, you know, uh, uh, not a U.S. equity, but this took out Monday's low on a relative basis. This thing's trading absolutely horrible. But I'll let you guys figure this out after. And it looks like we ended up down about 10 handles. So not quite the double close, but a wicked day of volatility. So
No, I mean final tallies. We just barely closed red on the Qs, only down to 54 cents. Is
yeah.
not even that bad, frankly. So you got more red than green, but all things being equal, not such a bad day. They did buy that dip after Jerome Powell went off the TV. Anyway, that's a wrap for us. We got back testing with Christopher Yule coming up live next. The stream will end. Redirect to that. Chris is followed by Money Mitch, which is followed by our restream of tonight's Tesla earnings conference call. That'll be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're just going to show a screen of the chart, what the stock is doing after hours, and you'll be able to listen to the call. Remember, no Elon. He doesn't show up to these calls anymore. So if that's why you're tuning in, then don't. But please remember, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Hit that like button for me, please. I'd appreciate that. Thanks to all the Q&A today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and stay tuned to our next show.